Have you ever wondered where to place third-party API interfaces in your software architecture? It can be a tricky decision, but today we're going to break it down for you. I totally get it. Many developers face this dilemma when trying to integrate third-party APIs. It can feel overwhelming, especially when you want to maintain a clean architecture. Let's dive into the specific question at hand. One user asked, "What is the best pattern for wrapping a third-party API?" They mentioned the standard persistence repository pattern and how it seems straightforward, but they were unsure about the API integration. So what's the issue here? When we wrap a third-party API, we lose control over the interface signature. If the API changes, our implementation might need to change too, which can affect the entire domain. Stay with me, because at the end, I'll share a strategy that can help you manage these API integrations more effectively. To address the challenge of integrating a third-party API, the user should first consider the implications of the interface design. It's essential to recognize that the interface must accommodate the variability of the third-party API. Next, the user should create an abstraction layer. This layer will act as a mediator between the domain and the third-party API, allowing for flexibility in implementation without affecting the domain layer. The user can then define an interface for the abstraction layer. This interface should be generic enough to handle different third-party APIs while maintaining a consistent contract for the application layer. Finally, the user should implement the specific third-party API integrations within the abstraction layer. This allows for easy swapping of implementations without impacting the domain layer. Fun fact, did you know that the first APIs were just simple function calls? Now they can be complex systems that require careful planning. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. This user agrees with the previous approach, but suggests a different method. They propose keeping the concept of the third-party API in the domain while separating the input and output. The application layer should provide the necessary domain objects. You can call your anti-corruption layer, like iStuff Gateway, to retrieve the required objects and pass them to the domain. Additionally, if this task is common, they recommend creating an application service, such as iGetStuff and callDomainTask, to streamline the process. Here's a tip. Always consider the potential for change when wrapping third-party APIs. Flexibility in your design can save you a lot of headaches down the road. And there you have it. Whether you choose to keep the interface in the domain layer or move it to the infrastructure layer, remember that flexibility is key. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more insights on software architecture.